That is not your mom. Hello? Hi, honey. Hashtag so pretty. How's that shoulder? Everybody wants to know. So Mark is reporting it right now to the police. Need help? Do I get mad and then I'm just acting upset? Not the greatest way to end the year, but that is what happens on the farm.
1,700 more square feet.
Good morning. Not exactly the best way to end off 2024, but so today I had a whole nice sit-down video planned for you guys, just an end of the year recap. And I asked Instagram to ask me, you know, what do you want to know? What's any questions you guys have? And then of course, stuff like this happens. Like the universe just laughs at me when I think I have a plan when it comes to my YouTube channel. I have tried numerous times to like plan out videos. I yet have been able to do it. So I think what we'll do is, because Instagram was kind enough to ask me a ton of questions, I think what we'll do is we'll just go through the day-to-day, and I'll just sort of answer questions as I go. This is unfortunate. I noticed yesterday he was in the same vicinity. He wasn't laying like this, but he was laying down and he looked depressed. And I'm like, okay, I don't love giving antibiotics just willy-nilly without knowing if there's an actual reason, because that's the first day I've seen him like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll start with a painkiller. I'll start with like an Advil, Metacam, and see if that just helps him feel a little less gross, and maybe he'll get up and eat. And he never did yesterday, but I did not expect this. So I'm not sure if he got in a fight and he got injured. I don't know if I don't know. He's very, very bloated, but that also happens when they've been deceased. So this sort of goes into my first question. I'm pretty sure I got asked this, but I do get asked this all the time from Instagram, not so much from you guys, because I think you've seen enough of my videos. You know the scoop behind how I get rid of my deceased animals. I have a composter. I got one a couple years ago. We had some grant money through the government, and so it's been working really, really well. So yeah, so any like lambs that don't make it, rams that don't make it, ewes that don't make it on the farm will get put in a composter. It's a vessel composter, so you put it in one end, and then over time it rotates once a day or twice a day or however many times you want to program it to do, and then it comes out the other end as basically just some bones. And you do have to put some like carbon matter with it. The whole point of a composter is to generate heat, and that's what composts the animal. So it's very much like having a compost pile. You'd have to go in and flip it like daily. So the vessel just does it on its own automatically. And then it gets added to our manure, and then we spread it in the fields. Just be careful of bones, because you don't want those in the tires. Not the greatest way to end the year, but that is what happens on the farm. The good, the bad, the ugly. There's one job that I've been meaning to do for a while. Transfer some bales from one side of the lean-to over to the other. Chris has almost got the one side already cleaned out. I'm glad we made more straw this year. It's been a very damp winter so far, and the amount of bedding we've been using, you know, every other day it's 2 bales and every day it's 1 bale. I thought this was a good time to answer this question. What are my favorite chores? What is my favorite chore? I think I'm gonna say like daily chores. Like if I had to do chores every single day, I think feeding. You get a little bit of tractor time, a little bit of feed cart time, and it is the time when I can really, really look at my flock. A healthy sheep wants to eat. They want to get up, they want to eat, and they want to be first at the bunk. So if you see any sort of falling behind, then you know you got to take action, or at least like take mental note of what you see. All right, let's move these bales. It's really raining outside, so I don't know where to put the camera so it won't get wet. I'm gonna just show you what I'm looking at here. So these are sort of sitting out, so I wanna pull those sort of off and to the side for a sec. Pull out some dry bales and just put them in here. I don't like Carissa getting to the very last row because they tip over. We have our bales for the barn, and I have this sort of situated here. So I put the wet bales, I left a space because I don't like putting wet bales near the dry bales. So that side is sort of cleaned out a little bit, and then I put them 4 high over here. So we'll head back with these. I had a question that came in. I'm gonna paraphrase it because I just don't want to grab my phone right now. The question was, do I really get upset at like mean comments? Or do I get mad and then I'm just acting upset? I will honestly say I run hot. So as soon as I read a really negative comment that's like uncalled for, right? Like criticism is different than like an uncalled, just mean comment. Like there's a difference, and I think we all sort of know the difference. And when I get a really mean one, like out of the blue, depending on, it sort of probably depends on the day I'm having and the mood I'm in, but I run so hot that it feels like I've like fallen on my chest and I can't breathe. Like it hits me so hard and so fast that I get a little lightheaded. And I think it's just like your cortisol levels just spike, right? It's stress, it's a stressor for me. So why am I doing this? Which is the first thing I sort of go to. I get mad. I'm like, I can't believe someone actually spent the time writing this publicly. And then, so yeah, I sort of get mad. That's the first reaction. Then I immediately, when Mark is in the room, I'll be like, can you believe this? And then I'll read it to Mark. And then he'll laugh, or he'll be like roll his eyes or like shake his head or whatever. And then as the day goes by, it festers, I have to say. It doesn't matter if you're the prettiest girl in the world, the smartest girl in the world, the hardest working girl in the world. When someone says basically that you're not enough, that sits with you. And so yeah, by the time I process this and like turn on my camera a couple days later or a week later, it's already been festering and eroding my insides. So by the time you guys see me, I have calmed down and processed it, but usually not in a good way. I'm usually like, if I'm thinking about it like a week or a few days later, I'm not doing well. So I'm not acting. I think it's too hard to act. Like when people sort of say, are you acting? I'm like, how do I act on like doing chores? How is that an act? I think I got asked that twice in this sort of Q&A, and I'm like, I don't know. No, I'm not an actor. I would be fired. The only acting I do is I don't curse I try not to, or I edit it out. I have got a bad habit of swearing in real life. So the only difference you'll probably find me in person and me on the camera is that I swear too much. Like I said, I run hot, so I do swear a lot. You can ask anybody, ask my friends. So they always laugh when they watch my videos because they're like, you never swear. I'm like, I know. But then when in real life, I go overboard because it's like all repressed. But I know people watch my videos with their kids, but there's a lot of swearing off camera, just for full disclosure. I will ask Mark this same question unprompted, and we'll see what he says, how Sandy reacts to negative comments. It'll be interesting. It's interesting to see if he'll say the same thing. One of the biggest questions I'm getting on Instagram is, whatever happened to Spider Lamb? We still have Spider Lamb. She is still here. This is brother. Number 2, that's the brother, so doing really well. Where is Spider? I just saw him. I shouldn't call him him, it's a her. Is that you sleeping in the pile? I have a sneaky suspicion that's her. Let's see. Is that you? Yeah, that's Spider. So she looks really good, but her legs are still really bad. So she does a lot of laying down, but yeah, that's how she gets around. Honey. So she kind of walks on her knees more than anything. So I really don't want much more weight on her. I, as a farmer, have made the decision to put her down, which is really super sad, I know. But this lamb, I don't want to put much more weight on her because it's gonna start to hurt, I would imagine. So yeah, I know people want me to send her to a sanctuary and although I appreciate what they do, I have the ability to humanely put down an animal and get it out of its misery. The problem with my YouTube channel is I think I'm my own worst enemy because I create little pets of these guys because I fall in love with them. I'm with them every day. They become my little buddies, and I know that reflects in my videos, and I know I have favorites and you guys fall in love with them too. And at the end of the day, my business is sheep farming, and the YouTube is to document the journey of my business. I don't have sheep for the sake of YouTube, if that makes sense. Like, if YouTube was gone, I'd still have my sheep. So I think that's where this whole thing gets a little bit blurry in terms of like, oh my God, you're so mean. Why would you put down that lamb when you get done to a sanctuary? So yeah, it can live and it can get older, but as it gets bigger, I am not comfortable with how her bones are to support her weight, if that makes sense. So I made the decision a long time ago. I just haven't done it yet because it just hurts my heart a little, so it takes me a little longer to do it, but it will be done over the next week or so. So that's the update on Spider Lamb. The other question I got was, how is the shoulder mom? And she's good. She's been fine ever since she lambed. So I wondered if that would happen if she got the weight off that shoulder and she'd walk normal again. There she is over there. Hi, Mama. This one right here. How's that shoulder? Everybody wants to know. Yeah, we got the weight off her, so she's definitely not as bad. Like, you don't see her sitting as much as she was when she was pregnant. So yeah, she's doing better, but she will not stay around for another lambing because I can't deal with that again. And that does cause her, that causes her a little pain, I would imagine. Like, she does lift it quite a bit as she's standing, so. That is not your mom. Hello? Really? Alrighty. Just finished chores and I'm about to go across to do chores across the road. And I had a couple questions on my Tunis babies. So my friend Lindsay wanted to know, will the Tunis crosses stay in the flock? Hashtag so pretty. Yes, I am hoping to keep these Tunises. I sort of started keeping them sort of for fun because they were so cute. And that's not why you keep or select lambs, but sometimes I just like to just look at pretty sheep. It's turned into a wee bit of an obsession. They've turned into just very nice, behaved ewes. They've been good moms. I've had quite a few lamb over the last year or so, and they've been very attentive. They've milked really well. They're really I don't think I've had too many with crazy multiples. So I've been really pleased with them. And in fact, I kept some Tunis rams of my own. So I think that might have even answered another question. I think someone asked if I was keeping back my own rams. I try not to, but I was short this year and I did keep back some Tunis rams and I love them. Now the other question regarding them is, do you keep the brown Tunis wool separate? So the crazy thing about a Tunis is they don't stay brown. The legs and the heads do. Typically Charlie, the legs and the head is sort of like scrap wool and I just throw it back in the pen. Well, you can see here, there's a few in this pen. The wool turns white. Someone asked how the Golden Girls are doing. So we'll go over there and we'll say hi to the Golden Girls. They're doing great. Hello ladies. Everyone wants to know how you're doing. I opened up the door yesterday to give them some fresh air now that the snow is pretty much gone. But it's been raining ever since, so I just think they stay in to stay dry. Okay, now that I'm soaking wet, let's see if we have another question before lunch. We have a few questions about the dogs. The first one was like, how did we train them to not get run over? We don't. We just make a point of looking ourselves, and we lay on the horn sometimes, we yell at them. Sometimes I wonder, just watching these dogs, because we had Duke and then we had Kinsey, and there's a lot of things that Kinsey does that Duke did. And then we got Lucy after Kinsey, and there was some things that Lucy did because Kinsey did it. And now with Piper, oh my God, Piper. She does a little bit of everybody, plus she makes up her own rules, and I'm noticing the older dogs now sort of copy her, and not in good ways. The other question I get asked a lot is like, why do you leave Kinsey behind when you guys go to the cabin and you bring the 2 little dogs? And oh my God, we don't play favorites, like, at all. Kinsey will not leave the property. We've tried. She will not hop up into the, we could force her to get into the side-by-side and take her back. But I actually like a dog that won't leave the property. I don't want her wandering. I don't want her going to the field. I don't want her meeting up with Coyote. I don't want her going to the road. I don't want her coming over here across the road and getting hit. So I quite like the fact that she sort of has a boundary. And I did train her quite a bit as a puppy, as well as Duke, the dog before her, as to where our boundary was, and they've just always respected it. The 2 little dogs I didn't train, so I can't take any credit or blame for those 2. It's really nice. Do you need help? Do you need help?
It'd be easier if someone brought me pieces and I didn't have to get
Yeah,
up.
I can do that. From where? Over there? Let's do this.
The nice part is that they're equal, it's 7 equal pieces.
No, across?
Yeah, so if I cut one, it's,
Oh, perfect.
I can use the end, I cut off, I can use the end.
Oh, it's like square. Do you want 3 boxes open or just 2?
2, 3, or 2, whatever.
I'll look at 3 for now would be a good time to ask that question that I already answered. So the question was, am I that upset? Am I that upset when I get a negative comment, or am I acting?
No, you're
Like, or do I get mad and I'm just acting, being upset?
upset, like sad.
Yeah, like when by the time I go on YouTube and talk about it.
I don't think so.
If you
You're
talk
upset.
about it on YouTube, it's bothering you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
If
said.
you don't talk about it on YouTube, then you decide.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
Either
If
okay,
you
it goes.
talk about it,
It goes
or you
either
stew
way.
about
Though.
it, then it's bothering you.
But there also can go away where if you don't talk about it, it bothers you.
Yeah.
Then you couldn't talk.
But if I talk about it like a week after I got the comment,
Then
you
you're
know
still upset about it,
it's
yeah.
embedded into my skin
You have not
and
stopped
my
thinking
brain.
about it. It wakes you up at night.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not acting.
I don't think.
What I did say is that I do get mad right away. I'm mad right away when I read it,
And then you get upset.
and then if I don't laugh about it, then it festers, and then I get upset. If I'm, like what Mark said, if I'm thinking about it later.
You've stewed about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
If it makes its way to YouTube, then
it's bothering me. And it shouldn't, but it
there's
does.
a lot that you read and we are able to laugh on.
That's great. See if I got other comments while you're here. Did you and Mark do any extracurriculars in high school? Well, I didn't go to high school with Mark. Did you do any extracurriculars?
Involve girls, yes.
You did
Really?
Glee Club. You did
Glee
Glee
Club.
Club.
Mark did Glee Club because he thought he'd pick up girls. And then what else did you do? Do you do sports? He was vice president of a students' council.
Yeah. I wasn't a big sporty spice.
Wasn't a big sporty spice. I liked sports, so I did mostly a lot of them. I wasn't very good at volleyball.
Oh, right here.
Love to know more about you and Mark's community engagement and whatnot. So I was a 4-H leader for 13 years, and Mark was on a grain board for 9 years or more.
9 years.
Sorry for that.
9 years.
I forget that you guys.
So we were very involved in the agriculture community, I would say, on boards and stuff, provincial and local. And then, yeah, I would say youth-wise, I helped Jack. I think I was your coach for soccer or Jack's? Jess's coach 1 year, and then she quit. Anyway, Mark's struggling, so I'm gonna help him. Good. Welcome to book club, December. We just did our thumbnail and we have 4 minutes left, and we want to give away, we always do a little giveaway if you're in the book club, and this month I thought we would do like the fan favorite on Goodreads, and I think it's The Wedding People was the winner.
The Goodreads Choice Award.
Yeah.
Book club stresses me out now that we've had a failure.
I know. It's gonna work. Because the thumbnail worked right away, and I don't think it worked last time.
No, it didn't. Please work, please work, please work.
It says going live, so that's good.
We're live.
It's always a good sign when it's
You guys see and hear us.
going live. Hello, everyone. Merry
Hello.
Christmas. Good morning. Wow, 2 mornings in a row with less than ideal situations. I went to grab my work truck this morning because I have to go to the vet clinic and pick up some supplies because we're 2 days away from New Year's Day and they won't be open probably. And I don't want to forget, and I'm running really low on like antibiotics. So anyway, I went to grab the work truck. I unlocked the office because we have everything locked up. Grabbed the keys, went to the truck, opened the door, and it beeped like the keys were in it. I'm like, wait a minute, there was 2 sets of keys in the office, so that doesn't track. I sort of looked around and console's open. There was a Fendt tractor key sort of like ripped out of a bag because Mark had to get an extra one. And there was like a sock that wasn't ours. Like the dust was all disturbed everywhere. Like our work truck's disgusting. And there was a piece of key jammed in the ignition that was not our keys. Our keys were fine. So Mark is reporting it right now to the police. And we don't know what to do about the truck because we can't get a key in it. We can't get the key out. We tried every sort of plier known to man. So I have contacted my mechanic, he's our neighbor, and just see what he says if we need to just get it towed to Ford, or if he's got like a little tool, he can get it out. The feeling of violation when when there's intent to steal, kind of gross. I'm not feeling great about this whole situation, and Mark is unnerved. We're all unnerved. We've never had it happen here, and we really have nothing we're stealing. We lock everything up. I don't like people on our property, either A, when we're not here, or B, when we're sleeping in the house. Now, our saving grace is we have 3 very crazy dogs when anyone comes close to the house or the barn. Kinsey usually sleeps right in the doorway, so I'm surprised she didn't hear the person, so unless they came on foot and she just didn't hear them. But she is very, very, very protective, so she usually barks if she hears any vehicle at all. So they must not have come in a vehicle. I'm gonna run to the vet clinic and get my stuff and continue pretending this day is normal. Interesting. I thought I was filming, but I wasn't, apparently. I finally sat down and went over some very, very, very sort of brief numbers for you guys, just to give us sort of a recap and some closure on 2024. We made some big changes this year in regards to how many lambing groups we had. I have always historically had 4 groups of ewes lambing a year. So I have 3 groups in the barn, but the one group would lamb twice in one calendar year. So instead of that, I spaced it out 1 more month and I only lambed the groups once this year. So essentially I have an annual lambing system, but I'm doing it 3 times a year with 3 different groups in my flock. I made the decision to go down to 3 lambings a year after Jess was done chemo. I realized last year that we made no time for life to either enjoy it or to deal with it. And last year we just learned some really hard lessons, and what can happen if you spread yourself too thin. So that's the reason we went down to 3 lambings a year, but in doing so, we're down a lot of lambs. So this year we only had total numbers. All I'm doing is going through the total of the 3 lambings. So we had spring, summer, and winter. And total amount of lambs born was 673. So that was born. That includes all the mortality, everything. But we only had 265 ewes lamb. So total lambs per ewe was 2.54, which is actually the highest we've ever been. So to compare the total lambs per ewe year over year, in 2020, I had 1.96, 2021, 2.12, 2022, we had 2.22, 2023, we had 2.49, so we did a big increase last year. And then 2024, we increased from 2.49 to 2.54. lambs per ewe. So whether that, if we added a fall group in there, whether that would have watered that down, I have no idea. So number of lambs, yeah, 673 lambs this year born versus 964 born last year. To figure out actual number of lambs between lambs we held back and lambs that didn't make it and lambs that got sold, that's going to take a little bit of work, and it's going to take a lot more time than me just sitting here at my desk quickly going over what I have for raw data. So that's maybe something that I can work towards if you guys are interested in it, to actually know like full raw numbers. That would require maybe Mark and Lisa just helping me out with that. So let me know if that's what you want. The reason I am not like other channels and talk a lot about the numbers game is because I don't love that side. I rely on Mark and my sister to just make sure that I'm on track and I'm doing okay. I'm very much production oriented, so I just like to see that I'm improving year over year. So what I look at is number of lambs born and mortality. And that mortality has been the thing that has been, I bet you if I recapped every single year, I probably have said this in every video, I want to improve my mortality at lambing. And I don't feel like I have. So it just continues to be that thing I'm going to be working on. As for income, we have brought the fulfillment home and we've concentrated a little more on diversifying the income on the sheep side. So we're doing a lot more sales with the wool and just merchandise from the channel. So as much as we look at this and go, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I think what it's done is it has freed me up a little bit to take on another sort of chunk of the business. I think we've probably made up for how many lambs we didn't have this year. I ran this system the way it has been for years because I didn't have the supplement income off the YouTube channel and the merchandise and the wool. So now because of you guys, I am able to free myself up a little bit. It's given Carissa a little more of a break. It's amazing what a month can do, and it doesn't seem like it would make that big of a difference, but I've talked to Carissa over and over again this year, and she really likes this new system. So I think we're going to keep at it. That was another question I have, like, are you going to still do 3 lambings and not go back to 4? I'm not going back to 4. Between May and November, I'm also helping Mark. Yes, I could hire help, but I'm really happy with Carissa, and I am not ready to give this up yet. The other question I had was from a good friend, Casey, and I don't know if I have it here. I'm going to sort of paraphrase it. Besides hiring Courtney is, I believe, a friend of Casey. I think they all went to school together. She said, what other things are you proud of that you've done this year on the farm? I think that's what that read. I'm going to speak to it anyway. The end of the year is the time that you should be reflecting and figuring out all the things you're very proud of, and I haven't done that. I didn't feel like I made a lot of changes in the sheep, but I have. Hiring Courtney has been the best sort of decision, and not only decision, but the trusting my gut. Casey's right, that was my #1 change that I'm just so proud that I finally got the courage to do it. The other thing that I'm proud of is bringing this merchandise home and figuring out what is involved in retail and online sales. That is an entirely different beast than what I've ever done before. Learning YouTube was really, really hard for me, and figuring out how to edit and use camera equipment and software. And to bite off this like Shopify and a website and shipping apps and other apps, and then dealing with emails and customer service and dealing with really unhappy people, it has been the biggest challenge I have ever, I think, done, besides like failing at sheep farming for like the first 10 years or more. That has been a huge sort of challenge I've bit off this year, and we came through it fairly unscathed except for my health. And I don't think I realized how stressed I was between June and December until my body finally began like part by part sort of shutting down, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm feeling very sheepish about that as well, because I don't like to promote workaholism, and I know I am that. What I would like to sort of promote or celebrate is the fact that you're never too old to keep learning new things. And this was such a huge learning curve for me with not a whole lot of assistance really. I had Jack, thank God. I had Erica helping me out, and I had my sister. And if it wasn't for those three, I think more than my body would have shut down, I think I would have shut down. So I think that's the other thing I'm very proud of this year is this whole merchandise side of our business that we would not have if it wasn't for you guys just supporting this channel and me and being my #1 fans. This is a really hard thing to even explain to peers or to friends what we have going on here. And I've said this lots of times, this can be a very lonely place, even just talking about the business side of it, because it's so different. Getting through the first year, although it was stressful in the moment, every time I'm done, I can't wait to start thinking about new stuff that I think you guys would like. So I'm in that stage right now, and yeah, we've got the floor almost laid up in the merch room. So all we have to finish doing is the trim, and then taking all the equipment I have downstairs, we have to move it upstairs, and then I'll be ready to like start filling the shelves again. So for everyone emailing me, stuff is coming, and I'd like to keep the store a lot more stocked. So hopefully we don't have this big rush in the launches. We're still gonna have to have launches because I do have limited supply of certain things, be it the mugs, the wool, the things that are very, very popular. It's all things we're working on. I want to talk to a few people before I do too much planning, but I have a meeting with Jane in the new year on all the wool stuff, so that's exciting. They already have my wool in Quebec, so they'll be starting to work on all that stuff for the 2025 wool portion of the business. So lots of cool stuff going on, but the foundation of all of this is the sheep. And without the sheep, we don't have the channel, we don't have the wool, we don't have merch, we don't have anything. So although it doesn't maybe seem like it all the time, the sheep is always sort of top priority when it comes to farming for me. Anyway, thank you guys for being here with us in 2024. It was a heck of a better year than 2023, I will say that. The #1 thing, I guess, outside of the barn that I'm most proud and so ecstatic about is the fact that our daughter is happy and healthy. And, you know, sitting here a year ago, our family had been through so much. And this year is just like, it almost feels like it never happened. I found that Christmas felt a little weird. And I wonder if just because last year we blew it up into being really a huge celebration because we had our daughter feeling better. This year also went really fast. So not being in a hospital all summer really contributed to that, I believe. I forgot to answer one very important question, and that is, what's been your happiest memory of 2024? I'm gonna save this one. My happiest memory off the top of my head is our trip to Scotland and visiting Cammie and Lizzie. And I have to just say, they made my whole entire Christmas with their engagement announcement and their YouTube video saying, just talking about the farm that they bought. So if you haven't seen that video, please watch it. I totally already ruined it for you, but it's all over the internet. So I am not the first one to spoil the surprise. And most everybody that watches me watches Cammie anyway. I have to say that those two, like, you wouldn't even believe they weren't married, to be honest. Like, they legit were like an old married couple. So many best wishes to Cammie and Lizzie. We love you guys so much. It was just an absolute joy to meet them this year. And that was like, and Scotland as a whole, like, I want to go back there so bad. Maybe not this year, but it's definitely on my to-do list. My bucket list, if you will. The other happy memory was meeting the Red Shepherdess, Hannah and Danny, and they have started a YouTube channel, so please go show them some love. Tell them Sandy sent you. You guys are so gracious and always love other people that start up a sheep YouTube channel, so I like shouting them out when I know about them. Go give her and Danny love. It'll be a wholesome, beautiful family vlog, I'll tell you that right now. They're just a young couple starting their family. They have little Blakey, which you guys already met in my video, but they're having another one very, very soon. So I want you guys to be a part of their magical journey. And I think they even gave Blakey a little animal surprise for Christmas. So go check out, they've got a couple brand new videos if you want to check them out. And then I'm sure they'll have lots of fun surprises coming up here in the next few weeks for sure. So I just wanted to come on here and say that that was such an amazing trip, and one definitely for the memory bank. Looks good, Mr. Brock.
Tell that to my knees, my back. 1,700 more square feet. They're done, maybe.
Lovely.